One of the places where I draw inspirations from is Instagram. And on that very fateful day where this video popped up on my timeline, I was like, oh my God, this is so gorgeous. It's not like any other apron top that I have seen. And I told myself, I'm definitely bringing it to my soul junkies tribe so that they can make and have one for themselves. It is so beautiful. You are welcome once again to Soul Junkies. Don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time. We need 1 yard of crepe fabric. We need a little piece of gum stay to stabilize the zipper area. We need 2 zip, 1 long and 1 short. Then we need 1 roll of bias, and that will be all. So we're going to mark the neck as 2.5 by 3 inches for the front and 2.5 by 1 inch for the back, and then we'll mark our regular shoulder measurement. Then from the shoulder we'll mark our shoulder to under bust, no shoulder to blouse waist, shoulder to under bust. And at that point we'll put our hip measurement divided by 4. 1/4 of your hip measurement. For this I use 10 inches. 1/4 of your hip measurement just had half an inch, but you can do without the half an inch. Had half an inch, and then whatever you have is what you are going to put at that hem, and then you just create a curve with your curve rule. So please, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribers button. You will get notified every time we post a new video. At this point, we're just going to connect a point down of bust to point shoulder using our curve rule. Please don't use the straight part, use a curve rule. There's a slight curve at that area. So don't forget, the part that has the zipper allowance is the front, and the part that has no zipper allowance is the back. So that will be all for the marking of this blouse. Don't forget, we used neckline 2.5 by 3 inches for the front and 2.5 by 1 inch for the back, and that will be all for that. We're just going to slit that front part opened so that we can proceed. So after that, we're going to quickly cut our rope. We're going to be having 4 ropes. You can use your bias as well. That means your 1 roll bias might not be sufficient. So I have extra fabric, so I just thought using my extra fabric will also be okay. So I just cut 1.5 inch on of 4 pieces. The length, I really didn't bother with the length. It was just the length for which I folded to make my to cut the body. So the next thing is I'm going to fold my pieces on a bias for the bias for the neckline. So if you want to use another fabric for that neckline, now is the time. So once I folded on bias, I just measured 1 inch and I just cut down. So that 1 inch, the length I took was quite long, so it will be enough for what I need it for. The next thing is I just decided I should press the bias down, so that once I get to the sewing machine, it will just be so, and that will be all for my for the sewing. So I'm just pressing the bias for the neckline down. So assuming you were using this fabric for the entire area, doing it like this will also work very well for you. So if you are yet to make a guy's shirt, you see all those neck they make for guys clothes, this is how they create the bias. If you've been hearing bias, this is how those are bias strips were actually made. So these are the straps for the ropes that I'm going to be adding to the side of our top. So I'm just ironing it down so that by the time I sew it, I'll already have that crease. So I pinned the 2 shoulders together, the back and the front at the shoulder, go over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew. So I'm just showing you that I'm going to be placing bias front side, and I'm going to be sewing it to the back, and I'm going to be sewing it around, and I'm going to be starting at the hem, so that I just have one full sewing. So before that bias, I added my ropes. I just sewed and pinned my ropes in place, and then I'm just sewing my bias. It's just going to be one long trip round the blouse. It's going to start at the front hem and it's going to end at the other side of the front hem. If you have not subscribed and you've gotten this far, please hit the subscribers button so that anytime like today that we have new content on our page, you'll be the first to know. So I'm done biasing the blouse. You can see it's very, very fine. It's really going well. Like, my blouse is coming up. The next thing, I'm going to bias the neckline as well. So at this point, you can actually use the same bias that you use round, but for the sake of our design that we're actually working with, I decided to use the fabric, this floral part. It will also create some design on that neckline. Like I said, you can use a plain fabric, you can use another fabric entirely to beautify that neckline, and it will come out very well. So if you are not a pro as such, you can just open the bias, sew one side first, and then flip to cover, so that you don't have any rough stitching there. Because if you flip to the back and you see that any part is coming off, you have to sew, and then you might have work that is not very neat. So as you can see, what we're doing, we're trying as much as possible to make sure our neckline is really sitting well inside our bias as we sew. So as you can see, it came out very perfect. So now that we're done biasing round, we're done biasing the neckline. The next time is our zip. So I just measured like 1 inch from the hem of that our zipper, and then I balled the down part. I just placed my zipper. So if you want to measure, you can measure to the point of 1 inch below your waist, so that your navel will not be showing. So that's where the down zipper will end. So you're just going to sew in between. On the allowance, please, the allowance you added for the sleeve zipper, I added 3/4 of an inch. It wasn't up to 1 inch. I added 3/4 of an inch for my zipper allowance, and that's what I'm sewing off. So when I'm adding the zipper, please, in case you have problems fixing invisible zipper, I will not lie to you, the best way to sew invisible zipper so that it is very close to the teeth is using an invisible zipper foot. It will just make your sewing easy, and that zipper foot can do a whole lot more than just sewing your zipper perfectly. So I use this, I always use this for my invisible zip, only to realize that I can also use it for my normal zip as well, and I will just get a very great result. As you can see, as you will see by the end of the video, you see that my zipper was really invisible. If you don't tell someone that there is a zipper there, you will not know. That's how good the invisible zipper foot is. So you need it. Next time you take a trip to the market, try as much as possible to get yours. So now our work is done. You can see this on my friend here. It looks so good, and she is one size bigger than I am, and it still fits her perfectly. So if this is something you enjoyed learning and you promise to try it out, is really easy, let us know in the comment section. Please subscribe if you haven't. Smash the like button. We really like to get the notice, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on our next video. Do well to check out our other videos. It will really put a smile on your face. Thank you so much. Bye.